Hey, this is DragonFeather, and I'm here to talk about the science behind magic. Woo! Just kidding. So I get constantly asked questions of, well, how do you prove it? Magic isn't proven, so blah blah blah, it's not real. Blah blah blah. We've all heard it, by one of our friends, acquaintances, somebody we know or have seen comments have said that it's not proven by science, therefore it does not exist. However, I can prove to you guys that science does support the idea of magic, and I'm gonna explain it to you guys. So first and foremost, we know that everything is made out of atoms, right? And atoms are mostly just space, and we have realized this through intense studies and such. But the electrons orbit the nucleus of protons and neutrons with mostly space in between. And we know that everything has a vibrational frequency, and everything vibrates because even solid objects, though they appear that they're utterly still, the atoms in the objects are moving very, very fast and very, very close together and are very dense. That's why we can't punch through solid objects unless people break them. So, yeah, we all know that everything has their vibrational frequencies. Now, some things, like crystals that we use, have geometric patterns and geometric formations with their structure of atoms. And because of this reason, they emit certain frequencies and vibrate at a certain, resilience, starts with an R. Anyway, it vibrates at their own certain frequency, and this affects us in certain ways. And that's why we get crystals having different properties, because they vibrate in different ways. A great example is if any of you guys have ever seen a crystal bowl or a crystal singing bowl, when you move the mallet around it, each crystal is going to sound different because it has its different structure. Therefore, it acts differently when the rubber mallet moves across it, giving you a different sound. And that's one reason why crystals are so fascinating, because each one is structured differently. However, so when we know that everything has their own vibrations and own frequencies, we also know that humans emit their own energies, and that we are more than just skin and bone. We have different frequencies emitting from ourselves. We have different brainwaves, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But we use energy to bring about change, and that is, every human has their own energy field, and everyone is different with their energy. It's like a fingerprint. Everyone's energy field is different, and that's just the way it is, because everyone is built slightly differently, even though we're based on the same blueprints, if you will. So when you see something on maybe TV, or you hear a baby laugh, or you hear someone laughing uncontrollably, you can't help but laugh yourself because it's contagious. And why is it contagious? Because their energy and their higher frequency is influencing you to change your own frequency and start laughing with them. And that's why things can brighten our day, and that's why certain things, emit positivity and bring about, upbeat things in our life. However, when we see certain things of like animals suffering, or humans suffering, or people having a hard time in their life, or a traumatic story on the TV or something, we feel lower, because that's a lower vibrational frequency. And because of that reason, it influences our body to change and go to a lower frequency. Now, when we bring about the higher frequencies, it is much easier to make change because it vibrates quicker. As we know, different sound waves will go faster and will be higher. That's why higher sounds have a faster sound wave, and they move faster. And that's why we hear it higher. So there you go. But yes, so the reason why I say visualization is so important is because of our brainwaves, getting back to brainwaves. And when we are visualizing things, we emit theta brainwaves. And there's 4 types of brainwaves. There's delta, theta, beta, and alpha brainwaves. And I have my little notes so I don't get anything mixed up or whatever. And delta brainwaves occur when we sleep. So when we're in that deep sleep and we're sleeping and we're dreaming, we're emitting delta brainwaves. And when theta brainwaves are associated with sleep, deep relaxation, and visualization. Wow, words. So when we do those deep, intense visualizations, and that's why intention is so important in casting a spell, is because if you are not focused and visualizing these things, you won't be emitting these theta brainwaves, which are a different type of consciousness that emits different changes, and you can tell. Scientists have measured the different brain waves through CAT scans and other things of the sort. And alpha is when we're relaxed and calm. So when we're, just chilling and hanging out with friends and listening to music or something like that, we're emitting these alpha brain waves, and they're not quite focused on visualizing something. We're just relaxed and at peace. And then the last brainwave is beta, and these occur when we are actively thinking and problem solving. So when you're doing that math homework that you hate so much, you're emitting beta brainwaves. So when I say this, it should make sense that when we emit different brainwaves, we're changing the energies, and we're changing the different frequencies with our brains. And so when we do magic, when we do certain things like this, and we hold that whatever we're infusing with certain intentions in our hands, and we're visualizing ourselves infusing the apple with, or infusing whatever, excuse me, I said apple, I did a spell last night, so anyway, that's fresh in my mind. If we're holding an object and we're infusing that with our intentions and visualizing it being this thing, we're not only, changing the vibrational frequency of the atoms in this particular object, but we're also, emitting our own brain waves that bring about a different change and a different atmosphere of, what's it called? A different energy, thank you. A different energy around us, and a different whole new thing altogether. And because of this is why magic works if you focus, and if you do it intensely. Like if you take monks, for example, they meditate. There are some insane stories of these people meditating, because when they meditate, they're training their brain to do different things, and they're training themselves to be mentally strong. It's a mental muscle that we have to create change and to influence other people and things like that. I mean, when we make when we do like speeches, like motivational speakers, they will say something and they put emotion into it, and they put focus and intent into it, intending to motivate you, trying to get you excited, to influence you to change your energy, to get up and do something. And in its own way, I guess you can consider that being magic. You're casting a spell over your audience. Not necessarily. I mean, some people would disagree with that, but why the heck? The heck not, It's my example. So the bottom line is magic is not just putting ingredients together and going poof, it's all better. It's not about that at all. It's using these things, these tools that our brains relate to different things. Like, crystals can represent beauty, can represent structure, and can represent the earth to us. And when we incorporate that into our practice, we're already aware of those kinds of things. And when those things are closer to us, it's just easier for us to think about certain things. And that's why we use, the cauldron or our wands or whatever to help us direct energy, just so to help us focus more, to help us emit those theta brainwaves, to help us change things. And there's so much more to go on about this topic, and there's so much more in-depth studies that I have looked into, that I got from a video by Cara on Pagan Perspective, and I think you guys should all check it out, and I will leave the link below. Forgive me if it is not there right away, because I have been having problems with YouTube recently, and I'm trying to figure that out, so as soon as I can, I will get that up there. It should not be up there any later than, November 5th. So, yes. But that is pretty much all I have to say, and energy really does work, because when we feel tired, we have no energy, and we need more ATP. And for those of you guys who don't know what ATP is, the mitochondria in our cell, which is an organelle in our cells, convert these sugars into ATP, or glucose, if you will, into ATP, which is an energy that we use to move and to live our life and to work and woo. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, if I missed anything, I will explain in the description box below, and I hope this helped you guys. Any questions or comments, leave them below and let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And until next time, blessed be, and bye!